I'm eager to work with Congress whenever I can find opportunities to expand opportunity for more families. But wherever I can act on my own without Congress, by using my pen to take executive actions or picking up the phone and rallying folks around a common cause, that's what I'm going to do.
President Obama's now infamous line about using executive action to enact his agenda has raised the ire of many Republicans. Rice, a South Carolinian Republican, says a House resolution now being circulated would bring a lawsuit against the president to enforce the United States Constitution. Rice says no matter why Obama is using executive power to sidestep what he is doing is illegal. Joining us right now to discuss all this is Congressman Tom Rice to address this lawsuit. Congressman, it's good to have you with us.
It's an honor to be here with you, sir.
All right, well, that means a lot coming from you. What was the final straw for you when you decided to sit down and draft this resolution?
It was back last summer when the president announced his unilateral decision to extend the employer mandate. You have to keep in mind that the Supreme Court had ruled that the penalties under the mandates were a tax. That was what made Obamacare constitutional, was that Congress had the power to tax. And so these mandates had made rule enter tax. And I was a tax lawyer and a CPA for 25 years before I ran for Congress. And I said, you know, gosh, a president has no power to change the effective date of a tax, to change the application of a tax, to change the rate of the tax, to change who the tax applies to, and the president in this case has done every one of those things. So I just sat down with some legal experts, and we talked about what we could do short of impeachment to simply make the president comply with the law. And this is what we came up with. House Resolution 442, if it passes by a majority of the House only, does not require a vote of the Senate, which is the key here, because the Senate, Harry Reid and the Senate, are far less concerned with protecting our freedom and our Constitution than they are protecting the president right now.
Now, you mentioned some parliamentary procedure.
Then we'll bring a lawsuit. The House as an institution will bring a lawsuit against the president to enforce his obligations under the Constitution.
All right, so you have 43 Republican co-sponsors of the resolution, an impressive number. Who are some of the backers that we might recognize?
Well, you know, 43 was a while back. I've been, you know, people have been helping me get co-sponsors, but you know who's helped me get the most co-sponsors?
Yeah, tell us.
The president, because every time he says something like, I've got a pen and a phone, and I'm going to go around Congress, or every time he says something like, he gets up at the State of the Union in front of Congress and says, look, I've got an agenda, and I expect Congress to act on it, and if they don't, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, we heard the president, we heard that just from the president a second ago. If the number's not 43, Congressman, what is it up to now?
108.
108. Well, we apologize for selling you short there. I know one of the guys in the House who has backed this is Congressman Steve Scalise. He's co-sponsored the resolution. He says our country rejects the concept of a dictatorship. Would you go so far to say that President Obama and these executive orders constitute some sort of dictatorship?
No. I would say it is rather authoritarian, though. I mean, the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution, to protect our very fragile freedom, laid out a separation of powers, and that was purposeful. They didn't want to have too much power in any one person or any one branch of the government. They wanted the legislative power to rest with the legislative branch, and the House of Representatives in particular, you know, elected every 2 years and always answerable to the people. That's where the people's power comes from. The president was not to enact law. The president was to simply enforce the law. And here the president saying very clearly, you know, that he's not bound by the Constitution, that he wants to enact the law himself. He says, if you do not enact my agenda, I will do it myself. You know, really what I should have called this is the Uphold Your Oath Act, because the president, when he took the oath of office, just like I did, he swore to protect and defend the Constitution.
Congressman, are there any Democratic co-sponsors, any Democrats who have signed up to support this bill?
Not a single one. I've asked 3 or 4, and I've had some people scratching their head, but none have come forward yet. I bet before it's over with, we will, though.
And what do you think it would take for, you know, we've heard a litany of problems that have cropped up, and including more delays, that extends even further the delay which you just told us was the final straw. and you drafting this resolution. How much more do you think it will take? More delays, more problems, more issues with the website, more enrollment number concerns before you get more Democratic sponsors? Or any Democratic sponsors, I should say.
I don't know. You know, Obamacare is just one of the things that I cited in the law. One of the other things I cited also with respect to Obamacare is his decision to unilaterally extend the ability to write quote-unquote substandard insurance policies for another year, which before Obamacare came around, almost nobody had a policy that had all these required coverages under Obamacare. So really, my definition of a substandard policy is any policy anybody would actually want to buy. His waiver of the work requirements under the welfare law, you know, that was very heavily debated between Newt Gingrich as Speaker of the House and President Clinton, and what they came out with was a very, very successful amendment to the welfare law that took 30 to 40% of the people off of welfare and drove poverty down to its lowest levels ever. And now President Obama has decided, well, you know, I just don't like that work requirement, therefore I'm not going to enforce that.
Well,
and
Congressman, can you imagine a day, you know, maybe 15 years ago or 10 years ago when you would be longing for President Clinton again?
I didn't say I went that far now.
Well, there are people, you know, in comparison to this president, there are some folks who would say that.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I agree that President Clinton would be preferable, in my opinion, to President Obama and the way he's handling his administration.
All right, Congressman, I hate to make you leave on that point, but we got to.
Would have been willing to negotiate to push the country forward. President Obama is saying, you know, I'm going to do it my way, and that's it, whether Congress comes along or not.
We'll have to leave it there, Congressman. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll be right back with more here on America's Forum right after.